Hello everybody in YouTube land, my name is Saddle Scout and I'm here today with a tutorial video for a control panel. I looked around a lot to find tutorials on control panels. Some of them just showcase control panels that people had built, but didn't really teach me how to make it. So I just sort of reverse engineered it and built my own. And today I'm going to show you the result of that. It's not an intensely complicated control panel. It's a rather simple one, but I like simple stuff like that still looks good, obviously. I'm not one of those guys that spends hours and hours getting every knob and button correct. So let's jump right in and I will go ahead and pop my blueprint out. Control panel 1. Here we go. Okay. As you can see, it's a very simple blueprint. There are some unlocks here from the Awesome Shop, so if you do not have those things unlocked, you won't be able to access them yet. Obviously, the like the square signs and all the signs, I think, are unlocks from the Awesome Shop, and also the industrial walkway, whatever the catwalk equivalent is. That's in this build as well. So if you don't have those unlocked, go ahead. Run over to your awesome sink some things in, get some coupons, and unlock those. And yeah, let's get straight into the build. This is extremely simple. Should only take you about 10 minutes to build. I popped it out right here, so I'm just going to build behind it to show you exactly how I did it. To start with, it's just half foundations around the edge. So go ahead and place one of your half foundations. Slap that guy right down there. And then you can rotate your half foundations at 45-degree angles. Tap H and you can nudge them a little bit. So I'm going to nudge it just like so. Tap H and nudge a bit. It's going to take a while to get it just how you want it. You might also be able to move this middle half foundation out a bit. If you notice in this one, I believe I have this one out a little bit so that it doesn't need to be flush. But you have to play around with the angles a little bit. In any case, there is a little bit of Z fighting. That goes away slightly when we color it. I have the color that I like to give it is this custom swatch that I have. So you can set, if you don't know, you can set custom swatches. So set up your color. I have one called Deepest Black, or Blackest Black, I'm sorry. And all that is 0, 0, and -8. So if you go, this one usually only goes from 0 to 1 on the brightness. But if you go to -8, it gets even darker. And if you go, I think, to +8, it goes really, really bright white. So this Blackest Black actually shows up really well on foundations. Make sure you have it set to matte, however, and remember that when you set this color, you can save it right here. To save the preset, name it whatever you want. So I have a whole bunch in here that I use all the time. So go ahead and save yourself some presets, make it easier on yourself later. So you can go ahead and color these. That Z fighting will show up just a little bit, but once you get all this stuff in there, you won't see it at all. Okay, the next portion is these little knobs or nubs, whatever you want to call them, coming out of the desk. Those are industrial walkways. So to find those in architecture, we scroll all the way down to the bottom, and here's the walkway intersections. So grab your walkway intersections and you can place these. You cannot place these on the top, as you notice. Even with control, you can't place them on the top, but you can place them on the edge. So go ahead and place them on the edge, just like that, and you can snap to them like so. Now you get them on top of the foundations, inside the foundations, just like that, and you have a little bit of added depth to your desk here. All right, and then the next major portion, these are small metal pillars. Now you can use different things for this. The obvious alternate option is your small concrete pillar. They look slightly different. One looks metal, one looks concrete. Go figure. I like the metal one, and there's probably even other things you can use to build. At first, the first time I built this, I actually used this frame like this, and I used this as a kind of a panel wall. In any case, you can do it however you like. I'm going to use the small metal pillar. So notice that this only goes vertically and not horizontally. So what we have to do is we have to snap it to itself. So go ahead and pull this right toward the edge of your foundation. See, it's right on the edge and it's directly in the middle. And smack it down. Now, the small metal pillar will want to snap to the middles and to the top, and that's it. But notice if you're on the middle and you hold down control, now you can snap it a little more finely. So that's what we want right there. And you can use the mouse wheel to scroll. So if we zoom around here to the side here, and people can do this however they feel like they would like. Some people would like it to be a little more straight and vertical monitors. Some would like it to be a little more up. I like it to be right in the, just a little bit past the middle. Just like that. All right, and snap another one to it, and there we go. We have our monitor panels there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing over here. First I have to get this, it's a little bit finicky. Sometimes you're going to need to mess around with how you place it. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to show you those portions, but just know obviously you can mess around with the movement and the placement around your designer to get it just right. So there we go. Now we have our two panels on either side. Looks just like that. Now that is most of it right there. So these benches here are just metal beams. So you can find metal beams here in architecture and metal beam under beams. Okay. These are extremely simple. Just hit the edge right here. Now notice it only wants to go vertical and horizontal, right? But if you tap R and go to freeform, there we go. Now we can freeform across this way and make ourselves a little bench. And that's that. So I have to say, I just unlocked the hover pack just a couple days ago, and my goodness, it's so much easier to build with this hover pack. So once you get close to that, make sure you unlock that thing. It's so handy. You don't have to like tap spacebar all the time. It's really nice. Anyway, so I now know why I messed around with the placement. Over here, if you notice on the edges, I put this middle one outside a little bit more, and that was so that I could line these up to a point in the middle. You can certainly do that, but just play around with it a little bit and get those benches just how you want them. Now to get these railings, you don't have to put the railings. I think it kind of encapsulates the build just a little bit. But the railings are quite simple. You have to snap it to something. So if you try to snap it to just the outside, as you can see, it goes in these 90-degree increments like that. It's really hard to get them to line up. And of course, if you put them on top of the bench, then they're going to be floating off the ground. So what's a guy to do? Just go ahead and grab your half foundation, place it right there, and then use H to move it a bit. There we go. You can place it down, and now we can place our industrial railing along the edge of that. There we go. See how it snaps to the edge, like so. Don't know why it wasn't doing that just a minute ago, but sometimes it can be a bit finicky. So if we go ahead and half nudge out here, place that down, industrial railing, and there we go. So you place that railing down. It's not lined up perfectly, but you get the idea of how to do that. If you want it lined up a little better, you just got to line these up a little bit. So you're obviously going to have the railings a little bit out here. Go ahead and slap that down, pull your railing out, and there we go. And then delete that foundation. And now you have your railing. And you can do the same thing over here. And again, I'm not going to get this pixel perfect. I'm just going to give you the idea so that you can make it yourself. I tried to do as pixel perfect as I could on the original. But yeah, in the interest of your time, I'm going to kind of speed through this a bit. But that looks just about right. Okay, now we get to the fun part. These panels, right? All of these are just signs, right? So this is a label sign 2 meter, the keyboards. A lot of people ask how you get these keyboards, and it's really quite simple. So all you do is, one thing that isn't immediately obvious is that the configuration for these signs takes a lot of Unicode characters. So what I'm going to do is, down in the description, I'll post the link to the wiki page that has all the Unicode characters that are accepted, and there's tons of them. There's even symbols and all kinds of stuff. So these are some of the symbols, and I just made this in an organized fashion to make it look like buttons. Okay, and you can copy paste those into all the rest of yours, right? So if I copy those and come over here, I can paste it right in there. All right, and then I can select the colors. For these ones, I like the yellow. Obviously 0 icon, so we go to background and click no background at all as the icon. And the emission strength off, because it's a keyboard, it doesn't really emit anything. Layout, you can place your symbols centered like this. Remember, this is how you lay out your text versus your icon. So remember that your keyboard portion is your text. So you just go to centered text portion like that. And that's it. And there you got your keyboard. Now, after that, you can copy paste these. Just hover over it, hit Control C. You can go over to your next one and hit Control V, and it will paste those settings straight in there. The rest of these are just different sized signs. First, let's go with the central one, the central monitor. This is just called display sign. It's in the organization tab in your builder. And if you try to place this on top of a flat surface like this, it's going to pop out this little monitor arm just like that. And that's exactly how you want it. If you hold down Control, you can go flat, but we don't want that for this one. We want the monitor to pop right up top there, just like that. Okay, and if you notice in here, this is merely text, right? I just put some nonsense. Obviously, this doesn't really mean anything. I think FX, for me, I think I was using it as like a shorthand version of factory. So like factory 2 has transportation between it and factory 3, 7, and 8, whatever. Just kind of make some things up that make it look like there's some life and some control happening here. I put some alphanumerics over here. I don't know what for. It just shows, you know, some progress on things. Obviously, each one of these is just a Unicode character. So this is a Unicode character that makes it look full, and this is one that makes it look empty. And that's it. You just draw that in, and you have your sign. I put this one as obviously a power panel, voltage, current, power, battery, transit, and ind X. I don't even remember what ind X was supposed to mean. Put these as just icons. There's all kinds of icons you can pick in here from the game. So I placed a manufacturer, an assembler, and a constructor, and then I don't know, put like status colors. So green, yellow, red, as you can see over there. Green, yellow, red, and then some elements. Objective 3 incomplete. Don't even know what that means. And these are just like progress bars. You can see I just typed those in there. They're not actually running anything. There are mods out there that allow signs to do logic stuff and control things and display things. I don't play with mods. I don't like to play with mods, and so I'm gonna leave it as is until Coffee Stain Studios comes out with their own in-game version of that. In the meantime, I'd love it just to look like there's something going on, just to fill out the look of the base, and that's what's going on here. So again, these are merely signs. You just place those right in the center like that, and you can place all the other signs down. One thing to keep in mind when you place these signs is that oftentimes they will snap to weird places like this. They snap in big increments. But if you snap to the edges of these, you can snap all over the edges. So notice over here, I've snapped all of these to the middle one. So I placed the middle one, I think I placed it just like that. And then I placed that guy, deleted it, and then I can snap to the top and to the bottom. And there we go. I got some panel stuff going on. And you can move these around and mess around with the position. Obviously I got those right on the edge, and over here I have a little bit of an area left. Just play around with the placement of these. These are the long ones, the label sign 4 meters. So if you place those down, place one in the middle, and snap this guy to each side. So this does bring up one thing, if you notice. These are upside down. And now if I put the text in there, all of it's going to be upside down, and that's not going to be fun. So I haven't, I think this works. It makes sense to me, but when I place these, to me, I can see a slightly more robust top to one side. So if you place that down, that's upside down. So look at the top. The top, or the corners, I guess I should say. See, there's a more robust corner, and then on the opposite side there's a less robust corner. So I believe that is the trick to get them right side up. But honestly, you can just play with them a little bit and redo them and rotate them, and eventually you'll get it correct. One thing that I'm pretty sure works is if you center select them and then place them down. I think they place the right way. Maybe not. Nope. So these keep wanting to place the wrong way. So, okay, so I did get that one correct, and I believe once, if it doesn't like hover over anything else, I think if you center click, it will keep the orientation. So these ones should be the correct way. Yes, there they are. So those are the correct way. There may be an easier way to know which is up and which is down. I don't know, but yeah, all you do on those is just I'm just going to copy those settings and place them over here. Like I said, you go into those Unicode, that Unicode wiki page, and you can set up all kinds of symbols to make this look the way that you want. One last thing on the layout is you can have these looking all sorts of different ways. So just try to keep them consistent, and it'll make it look a little more coherent. But go into that layout, and you can set it up to where the icon's on the left and the text on the right, and text is centered, whatever. And also keep in mind, some of these only show icons and some only show text and some show both. So just know which does what, and you will be good to go. And that is about it without finishing out all the displays over here. That portion is pretty simple, and it's also personalized. Like you're gonna lay it out however you like. One other idea, just as a last parting thing, is originally I had like a gigantic billboard back here that I was going to place behind this as part of the control center. And it was going to display something, I don't know what it was going to display, but it was going to display something cool. But I realized I really didn't want that, and it was kind of a little gaudy. But keep in mind to fill out the area. There's tons of other stuff you can place too. There's light control panels you can place like next to each other, like place them into panels, and you can snap them into stuff. Oh, I mean, there's lots of different things you can do, like dimensional depots have those cool purple lights on the top. You can snap those into the ground and make it look like something's glowing from underneath. There's one thing that I am actually going to be putting in is in the control room is the power storage, which is just the batteries, just because I think they look cool and they're kind of modular. And they sort of just, I don't know, they make it look more like a factory when you place those around, and they have meters on them and stuff. But yeah, just play around with some of these things. Play around with the cabling, the power switches down here. When I place this control panel, I'm going to be placing it down here in my control area, and I'm going to be placing, power panels next to it that actually are power panels that cut power on and off to different parts of the factory. Because as you can see here in my Silicon Valley build, I have lots of different factories. There's one making circuit boards over there, and this one's making AI limiters, and this one's making something, I don't remember what, computers and whatever. Anyway, these are different factory sections are making different things, and I can cut power to on and off to each of those. So try to incorporate all that. You can make yourself a nice little like control room layout. And in case you're wondering, yes, I've jumped ahead a little bit from the Let's Play series because I was out for a couple days because I had knee surgery, and I was not able to sit at my desk, which is where all my equipment is, to record. And I still wanted to play the game, and I needed something to do all day because I was off work. So I jumped ahead in building a bit. But I will do some Let's Play videos where I showcase some of the stuff that I did and how I did it and why I did it that way, and maybe some tutorials if you guys want them on some of these things. Like somebody has already asked me about these busways that go in between the factories, so maybe we'll go over that. This is my modular storage, not central storage, modular storage. I have different storage areas in different areas, but maybe we'll go over how to do that. Maybe how to do this neat circle that I did in the entranceway. Whatever. There's lots of different things we can go over. We will do that soon enough. And yeah, I think that is about it. I will wrap that up. If you guys have any questions or constructive criticisms or comments to leave me, just leave them down below, and please hit like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate you for doing so. And that is it. My name is Saddle Scout. I'll see you next time.